Good afternoon, everyone. So, whatever we have seen up to now, this we will see in this lecture. So, let me share the screen starting from the first. So, this is what the root of equation we have seen. What is a root of equation? The number zeta is called the solution of equation or the root of equation, that is f of zeta is equal to 0. If it satisfies this equation, then it is called a root of equation. Okay. So these are the things which we need for finding the root of an equation. That is, if we are having a root zeta, if you get any number zeta in such a way that f of zeta is equal to 0, that means it should satisfy your equation. Okay. So next we have seen what is an exact number and what are the approximate numbers. So what is an exact number? It is simply, if we are writing it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and so on. These type of a number is called a uh, exact number, and the numbers like 3.14286 like this, that is a value of pi or value of e, these are called the approximate numbers. Okay, next we have seen the rounding off of a number. What is the meaning of round off of a number? In short, we can say if you want to round off a number, we have to do a one thing. That means if you want to round off any number, just if you are having, suppose we want to round off the number up to 4 digits. So whatever we are having the fifth digit, if it is greater than 5, then add one number to the before number. That is, if suppose 38.46 we are having, this 2 is less than 5, so that's why we are not going to add any number, so we will put it as 38.46 like this. Okay, so if it is greater than 5, so you can add. Next we have seen is error. I am taking it fastly because already we have covered this. What is an error? We have seen it is nothing but the difference between the true value of the quantity and its approximate value. Okay, so next we have seen is what is an absolute error. So whenever we are going to have a difference between the true value and approximate value, it may be positive or negative depending on the situation. So that's why we are going to find out the absolute value. What is the meaning of absolute value? It means that we will get only positive value of the difference between the true value and the approximate value. What is a relative error? Just we are going to relate this with our true value. It is whatever the difference we are getting absolute error, we are going to divide it by the true value. So we will get the relative error. That is how much error is existing with respect to our true value. Next we have seen is a percentage error. Just you have to multiply by 100. You can find out the percentage of error which exists in our number. Okay, what is a round off of a number? Round off of a number means what? You already know about how to find out the roundup of a number. It is a quantity which must be added to the finite representation of a computer in order to make a representation of a number. So next we have seen these example how to find out the error. I have shown you how to find out root 3. First you have to write down the value of root 3 up to 4 significant digit, add them and then find out the absolute error, relative error and the percentage error. Okay. So next we will go for our bisection method. Before going to bisection method, we must know what is an intermediate value theorem. So if a function f of x is continuous on a closed interval ab and f of a into f of b, if it is less than 0, then we can say that there exists at least one real root. I have shown you a geometric meaning how f of a and f of b both are less than 0 means what? One is positive, another is negative. If one is positive, another is negative, it means that the root lies, there is somewhere in between them, there is 0. That is, f of that some number will be equal to 0. That number will be the root of our equation. Now one may have a question why we are going to study bisection method or any type of these method, because already we know how to find out the root of any polynomial or any equation, that is by using synthetic method, or if it is quadratic then we can use the formula minus b plus or minus b square minus under root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. But why we are using the bisection method? Because there is some equation existing whose root cannot be found out by method of synthetic division. For that we are going to use a bisection method. So it is called a iterative method. Iterative method means a step-by-step procedure we are going to follow so that we can get the root of an equation. In this also, first you have to find out a naught b naught, that is in such a way that f of a naught is positive, f of b naught is negative, or in vice versa. So next we have to find out bisection. The name itself suggests that we have to find out the bisection of this. X1 is equal to a naught plus b naught divided by 2, and hence we can find out the root of our equation. Okay. So now we have to check f of x1. If f of x1 we are getting it is equal to 0, then x1 will be the root of equation. And then as I told you that we will not get the exact root of an equation. So we will follow the procedure. If f of x1 will not be equal to 0, it means that either this quantity f of a naught into f of x1 less than 0 or greater than 0. If it is less than 0 means what? The root lies in this a naught to x1. If it is greater than 0, it means that root lies in x1 to b naught. Okay. So how it will work, I have shown you geometrically that how root lies in a naught to x1, how root lies in x1 to b naught, and so on. Okay, so we have seen this. So now in the very similar way that we have done for first procedure, secondly we have to do the same thing. Again we have to rename the interval as a1 b1, then find out the bisection, that is you have to find out x2 is equals to a1 plus b1 divided by 2, and then find out f of x2. If it is equal to 0, x2 is a root. If it is not equal to 0, then we can find out f of x2 not equal to 0 means what? Either the things should be greater than 0 or less than 0. Again we have to follow the same procedure. Okay, I have shown you this. The next thing we have to do is an example. This example I have solved you already in the last lecture, that how to find out. First you have to find out a naught b naught, then find out x1, then find out the bisection, then follow the same procedure to find out the answer. Okay, so let me go for the next one. These are what some solved example in my notebook. You can see. Now let us go for the next one, is method of false precision or regular falsity. That means we are going to find out the root by using a false position. First we will go for false position, that is we will find out the root which is not a correct root. So that is called a false root. And then with the help of that approximation we will reach to our method. Okay. So for this we are going to use our slope. Okay, what is the formula for slope? F of b minus f of a divided by b minus a, or we may call it as the difference between y coordinate divided by difference between x coordinate. Okay, so this equation we are going to name, what is f of b is nothing but y minus f of a divided by x minus a. So this is our equation. Now I hope you have understood what is the geometric of this. Just we have to divide the just we have to, this is what our curve, and here we will find out the x1 is a approximate root. So again you have to draw a line and then join these 2 points, and then wherever you are getting the next point, that is x2, and so on. And then now if we go for the first point, that is suppose we are here as x1, that is the first approximate root. At that point, if we are on the x-axis, there will not be any y coordinate, that is y will be 0 on x-axis. So here we can assume y equal to 0 from equation 1, and hence we can find out the root. Now we have to find out x1 is equal to, we have to write down this equation in terms of x1 is equal to. Okay, so here we got the first approximate root, and in this way you have to follow the same procedure that we have done for our bisection method. Again you have to check f of x1 into f of a naught. If it is less than 0, then root lies in a naught to x1. If it is greater than 0, then root lies in x1 to b naught. And hence next you have to rename the interval as a1 b1. Again you have to follow the same procedure. x2 is equal to, here we have got x1 is equal to, but next you have to find out x2 is equals to, which is in terms of a1 and b1. So here x1 is in terms of a naught b naught. What will be x2? It will be in terms of a1 and b1. And these are the examples. So let us go for the next one, that is Newton-Raphson method. So the this method I have shown you already that how to find out the theoretical way of a Newton-Raphson method, but this method fails when you are having f dash of xn is 0. That means if denominator is 0, it means that you are not having any definite answer. So this method already we have studied by the two ways, that is by geometric way and as well as by a theoretical way. For the geometric way, what we need is we must know what is a derivative. First, we have to find out tan theta. What is a tan theta? For this, suppose you are having a curve y is equal to f of x. So first one will be x coordinate, second is y coordinate, that is f of x. So here x naught we will assume is a first or a zeroth approximation. Then draw perpendicular. So this is zeroth approximation. Then draw a line from this a naught f of x naught to here, so that we can get a next approximation, that is x1. Then draw perpendicular, again follow the same procedure. So here we will take this triangle. What is a triangle? Here some point say A, x1, x0. From this angle we can find out tan theta is equals to, what is the value of tan theta? Opposite side divided by adjacent side. So what is a tan theta? Opposite side is your this y coordinate. What is this y coordinate? Is f of x0. So hence f of x0 divided by adjacent side of this angle. This is x1 to x0 to x1. Okay. So hence now with the help of this we can write down the formula for x1 is equals to. Okay. So similarly you can find out the formula for xn plus 1 will be xn minus f of xn divided by f dash of xn. So this theorem or the Newton-Raphson method fails when f dash is equal to 0. At that time you have to go back and select the correct x0. If you select correct x0, then you can follow the procedure. Okay. Similarly, we have followed the procedure by using our Taylor series approximation. If Taylor series approximation, you have to neglect all the values of h which is greater than h square, like this. If a power of h is greater than 1, you have to neglect them in from the power Taylor series, and then you can find out the formula for h and then put up it in x1 is equal to x0 plus h. If you put the value of h, you will get the result. Okay. So these are the example we have solved by using the Newton-Raphson method. Okay. Okay, let us go for the next one. Okay, so here you can see now if I want to find out the reciprocal of any number, so number capital N is our number, so we have to find out the reciprocal of this number, that is 1 upon n. For that, if you are having the example like this, first you have to write down f of x, that is 1 upon x minus n. Then find out f dash of x, then write the formula for this. So what is f of xn? So it will be 1 upon xn minus n. What will be f dash? It will be minus 1 upon xn square. Okay. So with the help of this, we have found this formula, and this I have already taken in the last lecture in detail. Now we have to solve the example based on this. Now we have to find out the reciprocal of a number 19. For this, I have shown you that how to find out approximate root. For that, let us see here. What we have, suppose f of first we'll check for f of 0. What will be f of 0 and f of 1? After checking that, okay, so what is f of 1? F of 1 will be 1 minus 19. 1 minus 19 will be minus 18, which is less than 0. You can check for f of 2 also. Again you will get a less than 0. But we have to find out a number in such a way that f of that number should be greater than 0. So for that we can get f of 1 upon 20 will be 1, which is greater than 0. So 1 upon 20 will be 0.05. So that we can assume x naught is 0.05. Okay. So now we can select x naught is 0.05, and in this way we have solved x1 is equals to, so x1 where we are n equal to 1, we have to put x1 is and n is 0, that is n is equal to 0, so we will get x1, and here n equal to 0 means 2x0 minus x0 square into 19. Okay, so here in this way we have solved the examples. Okay, so let me go for the next method is secant method. In this method, first we will take a first degree equation. What is the meaning of first degree equation? It will be not of the type x cube x raised to 2 like this. We will take any linear equation. Okay, for that linear equation, what will be the root? If f of x equal to 0 means what? X is equal to minus a1 by a0 will be the root. Now we have, in this method we have to find out the values of a0 and a1 in such a way that we can get the root. For that, let us go back. I hope you have solved the example in which you can see if you are finding the root, suppose the root you have found up to x4. So there will be very small difference between the values of x4 and x5. For that we will assume if suppose xn minus 1 and xn are the two approximate root, then determine the values of a0 and a1 by using those conditions. So let us put f of xn minus 1 from our equation. It is a0 x plus a1. So whenever you are having x, put xn minus 1. So in this way we have these two equations. With the help of these two equations subtracting, we can get the values of a0 because a1 minus a1 will be cancelled. So here we get a0 into xn minus 1 minus xn. So here we can get the value of a0. So just put up this value of a0 in this equation 4, and then you can get the value of xn plus 1. Sorry, an. Sorry, we can get the value of a1 from this equation. Okay, so here you can see this after putting in the equation. So solve this equation for a1. You can get the value of a1 is equal to. Now put up xn plus 1 is equal to minus a0 by a1. That is our first equation. So that is equation number 3. X is equal to minus a1 by a0. And hence you can find out the value xn plus 1 is equals to this number. This equation whatever we are getting is a secant method. Okay. Now what is a iterative method is called, it is a step-by-step procedure. Okay, now let us start our today's lecture. This we have seen in the last lecture. Now here we are going to discuss the rate of convergence or the order of convergence. Okay. In the order of convergence itself, we are going to see all the methods convergent, that is which method converges how much. Okay, so let us start with this. I hope this I should take in your live lecture. Okay, so let us stop here. We will see in the live lecture what is a convergence. Okay, thank you.